My God, I'll be glad when the snow melts.
Yeah. All right. Get a little bit of redneck music going in here. Let me know when
All right.
when Paul comes in.
Well, I don't like you, and you don't like me. We don't like each other, it's plain to see. But I've got a pistol, all you've got's a knife.
Got Paul.
You better move on.
Thank you.
If it ain't worth your life. Now that girl on the bar stool, she ain't your kind. She was married to my cousin, but tonight she's mine. Go hit on those girls in your big city town. You better be going, I ain't messing around. What are you doing down here? We don't like your kind, boy, do I make myself clear? Better take your earring back where you belong. We don't like your kind, so you better move on. No, we just don't mingle with you folks from the town. You laugh at us rednecks and you put us all down.
We're close.
Roger that.
All right. And 30.
This is Armed American Radio's Daily Defense.
Armed American Radio's Daily Defense, because they don't want me to, that's why I do it.
Presented by X Insurance. X Insurance. From the gunbroker.com studios on the Crossbreed Holsters Platinum microphone.
They're never going to stop us here.
It's 2021, and we're in a new decade. Here is your host, the loudest conservative voice in America fighting the enemies of freedom, Mark Walters.
Indeed, welcome inside Armed American Radio's Daily Defense, the gunbroker.com studios here on the Crossbreed Holsters microphone. Every bit of this being presented to you today by xinsurance.com, xinsurance.com. I heard some interesting information earlier today about, I can't say a competitor because if you're not an AM Best A-rated insurance company, you're not a competitor. If you're a member plan or something like that, you are not a competitor. But it was a member-based plan. It was one, there's several of them out there. But when I was listening to some of the numbers that were being given, the actual coverage amount for each individual member was a fraction of what I have and about $100 annually more than what I have. So I'm asking you to please do yourself a favor, whether it's for your business, your lifestyle, your CCW needs, if you're law enforcement, if you're a business owner, if you're a truck driver, whatever it is, just visit xinsurance.com and get yourself a quote. Maybe get a gap coverage for your house, okay? It was incredible. What I heard today was mind-boggling. I was yelling at, I'll just say I was yelling, and I'll leave it at that. Two things to cover today before I go to my guest, and we'll talk a little bit about one of the two. Before I get going today, just so many of you know, the Armed American Radio website will be going down today, right after this program at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, at 2 p.m. Pacific Time, for a day and a half to 2 days as everything gets migrated over and we prep to launch the new site, hopefully Friday afternoon. Just want to let you know that. So you can watch the show on Facebook. You can watch it on YouTube. All right. You can catch the podcasts on whatever devices. Make sure you download whatever podcast device you use. Just download Armed American Radio, and they usually pop up sometimes within 11 minutes of the program ending. But for those 2 days, it'll be a little bit of an inconvenience, but it'll be all kinds of fun. Premium member, same thing. Everything is going down today at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Right after this broadcast is ended, it will go down. Second, Rush Limbaugh passed away today. I'm sure you probably know that by now. If you are in that vile, disgusting, hateful place called Twitter, you are seeing a level of hatred from your fellow Americans that is, I'd like to say, I haven't seen it that bad before, but I have. But today it's worse. The trending topics on that vile, disgusting place that appears to be okay with Jack Dorsey, that scumbag CEO, is just, it shows you what your fellow Americans think. And here's the key takeaway from this. The hate that you are hearing and reading about from the lefty goons in this country is directed at you. Rush Limbaugh is representative of you as a conservative American, as a gun owner. This is the hate-filled rage they feel for you. Let me go to my guest, Paul Markel, student of the gun. A couple comments about Rush before we go any farther. Paul, how are you, brother?
Oh, I'm hurting inside.
I am too. I have to. Here's why. To put it in very short terms, I had never met Rush. I had a couple opportunities to go to CPAC both times and I did not go. Travel just didn't work. But I had an opportunity to do some fun stuff and cut some promos for him, which was kind of cool. But I go back to 1988. I remember being out of college for 4 years. I remember listening to Rush Limbaugh when he hit the airwaves as a young man starting my career. And his conservative thought, I mean, right in line with mine. And I had never heard radio like that before. And Paul, when you and I do radio today, we wouldn't be here had it not been for Rush Limbaugh. This genre, this format wouldn't have existed. If it did, it would have been an entirely different thing than what we know it as today. That was because of Rush Limbaugh single-handedly. But from a technical standpoint, Paul, this is remarkable to me. I have an internet. I have two computers in front of me that if you say something to me, I can pull it up instantly with no one knowing, not even you. And I can see it and hear it and read it while we're on the air together. Rush Limbaugh didn't have that when he started his 3 hours in radio. He had no computer screens like we had. He had no internet like we did. Everything was done by physical newspapers, stacks and stacks and stacks. And I don't know if you remember seeing video of him with stacks and stacks and stacks of newspapers.
The stack of stuff.
Do you remember that?
The stack of stuff.
The stack of,
Yep.
Imagine doing 3 hours of talk radio with no guests and having those stacks of newspaper, the amount of prep time for those shows. I can tell you with what it is now, it's hours. My gosh, go ahead, Paul.
Rush Limbaugh was doing prep time basically the moment he got up in the morning when he was drinking his morning coffee. He was prepping for the show, for the day's show. And remember when he used to ruffle the pages?
Yeah.
Because he started doing that when
in his formerly nicotine-stained fingers, he used to say.
Yeah, formerly nicotine-stained hands and so forth. And obviously things changed. But to your comments earlier about the hatred from the left, the party that's supposedly calling for unity and reunification and yada yada. It wasn't me who said it. I think it was it was probably Solomon or Jesus Christ who said that you will know them by their words, by the words which they speak, and a bad tree does not bring forth good fruit, and a good tree does not bring forth bad fruit. So just take that into consideration when you encounter this vile, filthy, hateful speech from these just horrible, despicable humans on the left. And I mentioned this earlier on my show. The reason that Rush Limbaugh was so successful was because, and this is what people never could figure out, the country was desperate for that voice, and they were underrepresented. They didn't have that voice. Mm-hmm. That Hollywood in the 70s and 80s had turned to a liberal leftist mecca. The media was being converted. There was no one out there to speak for us, and he was our voice. He was the voice that we were looking for when we needed it, and that is why they hated him. That's why they despised him, because he refused to get along, to go along, to stick with the narrative, to go with the program. And he spoke for millions and millions of people who couldn't speak for themselves, at least on a national stage. That's why we loved him, and that's why they hated him.
Yeah,
and that's why they hate him till today.
I can't even read the trends. I jumped on a VPN on a server out of a number of different countries today just to get some of those feeds. Because when you jump on Twitter and you jump on a VPN that has a server in a different country, you will see that country's feeds and that country's trends. Canada's was more vile than the U.S. It was unbelievable. Well, it was close. But the trends that were up were Satan and Rest In, and I can't say the word. I probably could, but I'm not going to bother.
Yeah.
And here's one here. Ah, ha, 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 ha. They used one of his stupid blanking cigar pictures, letting the cancer dunk on him from behind the grave. Rest in blank Rush. The world just became a fractionally better place, with a meme of I used to be a blank and now I'm blanking dead. I mean, these are vile, despicable human beings. And when you look at some of these people, who they are supposedly, I mean, these are basement dwelling scumbags. Somebody following 997 people with 88 followers, at a net Twitter feed of minus 990 or something like that, or 89, whatever it is. They're losers, but they will get airtime on national television programs like Fox News, etc., who will give these idiots airtime. Say again?
Not all of them are basement dwellers.
Not all of them. Many of these are journalists. There's journalists out here in this. It's incredible. Hollywood puke bags are coming forward. Breitbart just popped up a story before we went live about these tweets and comments from these just vile, just subhuman mongoloids in Hollywood. It's disturbing, but the lesson we need to take from this is, look, and you said your fellow Americans. I don't consider these people my countrymen.
They are the absolute enemy of the Republic of the United States of America.
They have certainly turned the platform. We're getting ready to take a break, Paul. I didn't mean to interrupt, but they have certainly taken the platforms that they've been given and done that to themselves and their country. There's no doubt. Here's a Steve Rusted. Steve Rusted is a novelist, progressive activist, author of Cold Fire, Burning an Inferno. Hashtag, he's a white guy. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. Resist the resistance. And he's on that vile stream, talking about what Rush being a pathological liar, racist, fascist, etc. More when we come back. Don't go away. That flew by. I didn't. Oh, dude.
Have you been able to get back on Parler?
No.
I haven't tried since yesterday. I'm trying now. How about that? News feed is up.
What feed?
My news feed on Parler is up now.
It is. On the app?
Yep. Huh?
Let me see. I got no content found.
You got nothing?
Got nothing.
That's crazy. I'm curious where they found a home at.
I have no idea, but it's going to have to be a big one.
This has made me kind of interested in learning how to create a server farm in order to host one of these platforms.
Yeah, it'd have to be.
There's money to be made.
We have to have a cocktail in honor of Rush tonight.
I had too many cocktails last night.
Oh, did you?
Oh yeah, we went and hit the liquor store and came back and
that's
Bobby
right.
Bobby and I tied it on.
You were drinking on the job. Bobby
I
like
was
his
off the
Knob
clock.
Creek, huh?
No, I went and got just a simple bottle of Crown because it had 2 glasses that came with it. We didn't want to drink out of styrofoam. We're getting close.
You got the gift kit.
I did, the $20 gift kit. Yeah.
They're great, man. There's nothing wrong with those. I get them all the time.
And 30. Yeah, no, it was one of those situations where it's like, I'm not drinking out of styrofoam. I'll find what I can there. So I grabbed some beer and I grabbed a bottle of whiskey and came back. And I was like, all right, here we go, guys. Those of us off the clock were drinking. Everybody else was working. And then this morning when the overnight guy got off, he started drinking at like 8 a.m. And then he went over to crash out and we went on about our day.
This upcoming segment of Armed American Radio is being sponsored by Gunbroker.com, the world's largest online marketplace to buy and sell firearms, ammo, and related accessories. That's Gunbroker.com. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back inside Armed American Radio's Daily Defense. I am Mark Walters, filling your prescription for freedom today and every day here in the Gunbroker.com studios on Armed American Radio's Daily Defense on the Crossbreed Holsters microphone. I had a message to give you, too, also from Defender Coffee. I'll do that in the next break, but they've got a buy 3 deal, get 1 free. It works that way. Either you buy 6, you get 2 free on up the ladder, and you get free shipping and everything. Pretty good deal from Defender Coffee today. So tell you about that when we come back, as well as some of our other sponsors. Every bit of this is being presented to you today by X Insurance. Make sure to check them out. Please get some quotes over there. I'm talking with Paul Markel, student of the gun, and we were just kind of jawing it over Rush Limbaugh. Paul, welcome back in, brother. It's good to have you here today.
Hey, Mark. How's my audio? We had an issue there.
Not that I could tell. Your audio sounds wunderbar. Sounds wunderbar. Was it snow and ice and cold there? You are in Wyoming.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's in the 20s.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it was 19 degrees when I
got
this morning.
I got my charcoal grill going in the living room to keep the house warm, so I'm good.
Now you know better than that.
No, I don't. No one sent me a tweet to tell me not to do it.
Okay, well, hey, here's what you do. As soon as you put the fire out, the charcoal out, go eat a Tide Pod. You'll feel better.
Oh, okay. All right.
Paul, let me
wash it down with some bleach.
Let me continue with Rush quickly, because I had a bad feeling that this was going to happen this week, only because he had been off air since February 2nd. And it was just one of those things I thought, you're going to hear, sadly, in the next few days that what we heard. And no matter how you're prepared for it, when you get the news, you're shocked. I'm not going to lie to you. When it brought a tear to my eye. You know it's coming. But when you do this and you understand the roads that have been paved and the individual who did it, it's just incredible. I mean, think about the impact that the man had on everything. He's impacted this program. It wouldn't be here without him. Your show, you would not have likely the show you have today without him. So I just want to throw those mad props out there. We're praying for Rush and his family. Obviously, it was terrible news. It was not unexpected, but I found more. What this brings out with the hate from the left is really says a lot about of where we are as a country today. So when you hear these satellite radio moment worders talking about unity, okay, you can do what you feel. I know what I have to say about it. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, no, they don't want unity. They want to be in control. They want to silence you. They want to punish you if you say anything they don't like. And that was something that Rush had to fight against his entire career, was people who wanted to punish him. The same people who claim to be the most tolerant, loving, unifying, whatever people in the world are the most intolerant and the most hate-filled that there are.
You can read it. Go read it and read their words. And you're right. Read Hollywood. I mean, these are people who you'd think would have some level of shame, and they don't. They don't care. I guess they've got enough money. I guess you get to a point where you have enough money, it really doesn't matter if you tick off half the people who could be giving you more money. I guess that doesn't matter. I look at it this way. There were two things that I took away from this, and I took some screen grabs of some of the worst vile tweets. I have some. And I could replace Jack Dorsey's name with those screen grabs and tweet them out and see if I get kicked off Twitter. Because I don't think they would put up with that. Even though it was a tweet about Rush Limbaugh, if I were to replace Rush's name with that idiot loser scumbag Jack Dorsey, I think so. And there's one other thing I want to point out. All of that hatred, I hope to God that when it's my turn to go, that I can draw a fraction of that hatred from my enemies who hate me. Because let me tell you something. That's how you know you had an impact, unfortunately, in today's day and age. But when you're drawing that kind of flack, baby, you are over the target. So that's just how important he was. And keep in mind, as Paul mentioned, These are people who hate your way of life. These people want you dead. They hate you. They want you dead. And their tweets reflect it, Paul.
Yeah. But from, a tremendously positive note, if anybody ever read, Rush's books, especially if you haven't done it, you should have, but read his very first book, The Way Things Ought to Be.
Got it.
And one of the life lessons that I took from that book was that it's okay to be fired, and it's okay for people not to agree with you, and it's okay, to fall back and have to rebuild. And he was fired from numerous jobs, and a lot of people would have said, well, if these guys are going to fire me, then I'm doing something wrong, and I need to change, and I need to modify my beliefs and my behaviors. I need to change that. But he wasn't fired because he was doing it wrong. He was fired because people didn't like what he said.
Who didn't like what he said? Because I did like what he said. Who didn't like what he said?
Because station managers and Karens and Kyles and when he went to start he was doing really well in California with his show, his daily show.
Yeah.
And they approached him about doing a national program on AM radio. And all the experts, you guys know his story, all the experts at the time said, you're nuts. That'll never last.
Yeah.
That's the stupidest thing you could possibly do. Why would you want to do that? And he proved every one of them wrong.
Well, he opened up out of Sacramento nationwide, I believe, on 56 stations, which was a big deal then. And when he at his last show, well over 600. But I want to here's a headline that just popped up on one of my alerts over here. I put one in for Rush. It looks like this headline came out about 59 minutes ago, and it appears to be, I guess it's a Fox headline from their media. Rush Limbaugh was a terrible person. Liberals tweet their excitement over radio icon's death. Just this is the headline alone. Twitter liberals celebrate Rush Limbaugh's death. I'm glad he lived long enough to get cancer and die. God has canceled Rush Limbaugh, crooked media host Aaron Ryan quipped. I don't know who Aaron Ryan is. But it's
an insignificant turd.
Insignificant all the way. Here's a comedian Paul F. Tompkins. I don't know who Paul Tompkins is. If I had to say something positive, I guess I'm glad Rush Limbaugh lived long enough to get cancer and die. Comedian Paul F. Tompkins. The idea that you say artificially nice things about people after they die is weird. I've never understood the logic of it. Rush Limbaugh was a terrible person while he was alive. He made a living by attacking the powerless. His death does not in any way change or redeem that. That's Young Turks host Cenk Uygur. Feeling sorry for the people of hell who now have to deal with Rush Limbaugh for the rest of eternity. These things go on and on and on. And I don't dwell on that, but it's important that listeners who might not be in this sphere, because they're smart enough to not deal with that cesspool, that vomit-filled cesspool known as Twitter.
20.
Unfortunately, I still have to, at least for now, but not for much longer, hopefully. This is what goes on over there. This is what people who you might know or watch on television think of you, because when they say that about him, they're talking about you. Paul Markel will change the subject after this. Don't go away.
By the way, Paul F. Tompkins is basically a nobody comedian now.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, he had a splash like 15 years ago, and they were making fun of the gap in his tooth, and that was about it, because he's not funny.
Mike Drucker. I don't know who Mike Drucker is.
Nah.
It's easy to make fun of Rush Limbaugh right now, but it's important to remember that he also brought a lot of people a lot of joy by dying. Phineas, I don't know who this is. Very sorry for the people of hell who now have to deal with Rush. Aaron Ryan, God has canceled Rush Limbaugh. Jared Sexton, Rush Limbaugh was one of the most harmful and poisonous people in the modern U.S. His pursuit of wealth and power hurt untold numbers of people who wrought incalculable damage to politics as a public good, society as a whole, and the planet itself. Now, if this individual agreed with Rush, he would have no problem with what he said. None.
If he had listened to Rush ever for a period of time to understand that show, he wouldn't have these comments.
Not intelligent enough. This is a guy who thinks that the book Mark Twain or the book by Mark Twain should be canceled when you're talking about, because they don't understand the literary genius of what went behind Twain's writings. And, talking about Huck Finn, of course. They cancel these types of literary works because today it's racist. They don't understand. They're not smart enough. They're not intelligent enough to understand the genius that goes on behind the scenes. This guy could never, ever understand Rush Limbaugh's genius and analysis. He doesn't have the intelligence to do so.
That's why they're comedians, because they have nothing else to offer.
Yeah, it's a fact. The mere fact that there's a platform out there like this.
Just look at it like this. Parler was shut down for comments about the Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody on Parler hates the Democrats predominantly, and they couldn't have that speech going out that they're, hey, oh my God, people hate us. Yeah. So we got to shut it down.
Anthony Ortez says it right on here. There's no playing fair with them no more. Anthony, you're right. That we as conservatives had to figure out a long time ago that these people don't play fair. This is a street fight. And in a street fight, you fight. You fight to win. That's the way the Dems have been playing all day long.
All right, we're getting close. All right. And 30.
Back to Armed American Radio's Daily Defense with Mark Walters.
Indeed, welcome back inside Armed American Radio's Daily Defense. I am Mark Walters, filling your prescription for freedom today and every day, 6 days a week over America's airwaves, reaching millions. Saw the numbers today. They're astonishing, by the way. Thank you very much for that. Here in the daytime show, anyway, the weekday broadcast, if you want to call it that, Armed American Radio's Daily Defense. We are, of course, in the gunbroker.com studios, and this is the Crossbreed Holsters microphone. Make sure to check out gunbroker.com, as I told you yesterday and the day before, and you can hear the spots around it if you're paying attention. 6 million members now over at Gunbroker. 6 million members. 1 million items available on about 1.5 million auctions every single day. The company did over $1 billion this year, and it's 100% free to join. If you can't find it on your store shelves, Gunbroker has it. Crossbreed Holsters has discounts up every single day on their webpage for you. Make sure to visit crossbreedholsters.com. And, of course, X Insurance insures a lot of the firearms community and is taking the community by storm, including myself. So make sure to check them out because all this is presented by them. Defender Coffee, by the way, buy any 3 bags and get 1 free. I spoke with Derek today. Flash deal, limited time. Buy any 3 bags, get 1 free. It is not valid on the 5-pound bags, okay? Just the regular, I guess it's the 1-pound bags. So buy any 3 bags and get 1 free. No limit on the number of bags. Buy 6, get 2 free plus shipping, and do the math on it from there. DefenderCoffee.com. Use the promo code AAR. Paul Markel, welcome back, my friend, to the show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside. Come inside.
You just lost half your audience, but that's okay.
I have no idea why that even popped out of my head. I have no earthly idea. But that's old Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Welcome back, my friends, to the show
Yeah.
that never ends. We're so glad
Oh,
you
yeah.
come inside, come inside. Okay, we won't go there now. By the way, just a reminder, the Armed American Radio website is going down in 20 minutes as we get ready to relaunch and migrate everything over. That's going to be cool, by the way. Video, audio, all kinds of neat stuff. It's all coming. Paul, where do you want to go? Go ahead and let's put an exclamation point on Rush Limbaugh. We'll simply say we love you. Thank you for giving all of us the opportunity and the platform to bring freedom and truth to people so that we don't have to listen to this vile, despicable garbage over here. And rest in peace, my friend. We're praying for you and your family, Paul.
Yeah. No, he did his job. He did it well. And the thing that we need to be grateful for, what we should be grateful for, is the fact that, he 10 years ago, even 15 years ago, he could have said, you know what? I've had enough of this garbage.
Yeah.
I've had enough of this nonsense. I don't need you. I don't need the constant media attacks. I'm to take my money and go live on an island or just go golf or do whatever. He could have and no one would have begrudged him. No one would have said, hey, man, you can't do that. We wouldn't have begrudged him, but he loved his audience so much and he loved this nation so much that he kept persevering even through pain and sickness and when he didn't have to. But he still did.
I can promise you
that's the takeaway.
I can promise you, just knowing how much he loved doing what he's doing, that the last thoughts in his mind were, I wish I was in front of that microphone. It's really, really something. But yeah, he could have very easily. He had the money. He had the time. He could have done it. He could have pulled a drudge and sold everybody out, took the money and run, and he didn't. He didn't. He literally took it to his last breath, and God bless him for that. And fascinating and honored to be alive during the time that he made his run. So, because we've all learned a lot from him. All right, Paul, I got nothing else.
Yeah.
I got nothing else. Where do you want to go? I got nothing.
Oh, man, I tell you what. Well, all right, I'm going to do this. You know that one of the things that we've been doing with Student of the Gun is, a gun is good, but it's not enough. A gun is an instrument of liberty. And being a prepared individual is part of liberty. If you are beholden to whomever, whether it's a bank or whether it's a utility company or if somebody else owns your soul or has control over you, you're not free. And you say, well, but it's convenient. I get it. It's convenient. And everything is great until everything's not. And what I'm seeing with this week's, I didn't realize that the world had ended until yesterday when I started seeing news posts and media posts and tweets. I don't see tweets, but, whatever about hundreds of millions of people out of power, don't have water and begging for. When my wife came home and she said, "Did you see what's going on?" I said, "No." Is there's people wrapped around a Burger King because it's the only place with power and trying to get food. And I was like, what in the world are we doing as a nation when we can't? And you say, oh, it's easy for you to say. No, it's not easy for me to say. But, decades ago, I decided, hey, I'm going to be a prepared individual. I'm going to prepare my family. And that's what we're going to do. And for, 2 days without power and people are out sacrificing calves on rocks and, begging for government intervention, bro. And of course, me being who I am, I said yesterday, I made the comment, I said, it's too bad that someone didn't write a book, come up with an emergency plan to deal with disasters.
Well, that would be you.
Someone should do that.
Somebody should do that. You know what? You can find that at studentofthegun.com. Hey, I'm glad you brought this up because I thought kind of the same thing. When you look at what's happening, first of all, you're seeing all this proverbial global warming crap, hoax crap. No, it gets cold. It's wintertime. And here's a prediction for you. It's going to get really hot, too, in the summertime. Mark my word.
Yeah.
And somewhere there's going to be videotape of people in New York City popping the caps off of fire hydrants, and they're going to talk about how it's record-breaking heat. It happens. Ever since I was a kid. It happens. The fact of the matter is it gets hot and it gets cold, and there are weather disasters in this country. There's going to be tornadoes, and people are going to die in the spring here in the South. And the same thing will happen in the Midwest, and there will be hurricanes along the Gulf Coast. See, there's your weather for the year. We just gave it to you, all right? But you have to be
There
prepared.
you go. Be ready.
Be ready. You have to be prepared for that stuff. How long can your family go? I could go about, if I had to, I could go 3 months. How about you?
I'm probably pushing. Well, depending. As long as I could get water, and I can. We've got enough. We've got enough food supply. And the great thing about having your kids grow up and move out,
yeah,
is that you don't have to feed them.
Yeah. And you get a little bit. You get a little bit more money too. Well, I got a creek in the backyard down in the holler at Armed American Radio Ranch, and as long as that thing is flowing, I've got the necessary tools for for cleaning the water, etc. For drinking water. I also have drinking water, in both packages and in cans. And I probably have 3 months worth of food for a family of 4, and I have enough ammunition to protect it. So if I had to, I'm good. No, maybe that's, look, all you need really is, most people don't need any more than 72 hours worth of stuff. That's enough to get you through most things. But I like to go overboard because that's who I am, Paul. It's just the way, it just is what I am. It's just I am wwho I am. I like it's fun buying
you absolutely do. You need more than that. And the thing that I'm out here screaming at the mountain, saying for 20 years, various sources, including the government, including ready.org and ready.gov, and have been telling that they've been looking out at the people, and they're like, people, be prepared to be self-sufficient.
Right.
Whether it was Y2K or 9/11 or Katrina or Sandy holy crap, this last year, if the year 2020 wasn't enough to convince you that you needed to be independent or as close to independent as possible, I don't know what's going to convince you.
Well, sadly, a lot of people won't. I'm so sorry to have to tell you that time is flying again. I got that guy down in Dallas down there who's living it, been spending a couple days at the network down there because of the weather. Just makes it easier because the network shows have got to go on, right? God bless him for doing that. But he keeps telling me 30. Right now he's probably telling me 10. Right? Is that right, Greg? 10? There it is. See? There it is, right there. Okay. Not his fault. Just hassling him because he's fun. We have one more segment when we come back with Paul Markel. Sad day today. Solemn day.
20.
Didn't really prep too much on the gun stuff with you. Just wanted to talk with Paul about Rush Limbaugh, where we're at, what's going on. Try to get you to keep your heads up. And we'll be back with Paul Markel for one more segment. Don't go away. Armed American Radio's Daily Defense continues.
Well, here we are. Last break.
Unreal. Paul says, I'll eat my neighbor. Anthony says, 1.5 months, sad day for me. Paul says, I'll eat my neighbor. All right, Paul, there you go. I like that. Being raised by Depression-era parents. Lots of garden raised, canned food, plus the freezer is full. Absolutely, that's true.
So the only thing I can conclude is that this storm has proven that meme that gets shared to where it's a cabin in the middle of the woods and there's no internet or electricity is like, if you can live here for a month, you can win $1 million. So that was a lie.
Yeah.
We can't go 3 days in Dallas without having just being able to travel without going crazy. So
yeah, I find that kind of sad. I like prepping for stuff like that. It's fun. I have a closet filled with, so that every once in a while I'll get the kids out, get out inventory of that stuff for me. But I've also got a couple boxes out in the garage that I haven't yet got put in the stash here at the house. And that includes some fun stuff. There was more bagged water there. There was more, I'd say bagged, what is it? It's the foil pouches of water. And some cool communication devices, stuff like that. Master
yeah,
Jackson
I'm
says,
gonna
can't
have
live
to
in
just
a cabin like that. Rookie.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm gonna have to continue stocking up, but I mean, I was kind of prepared. This doesn't bother me too much, outside of just it being cold and not being able to travel.
Yeah, the cold weather. Like I said, it was 19 degrees when I got in the truck this morning and headed out. It was early, but wind chill was a lot colder than that. But it warmed up nice. About 50, 52 degrees. Sun's out.
I think we're like 20. When I took the dog out this morning, I was like, "Huh, it's not as cold as it was last night." Now
Right.
it's 20 degrees instead of 2.
It is weird that it's Dallas. Let's see if I can find something to upset the apple cart. Probably not.
All right, we're getting close. And 30.
The following segment of Armed American Radio is being brought to you by Defender Coffee. When you drink Defender Coffee, you're making a donation to a gun rights organization of your choice that protects and defends your freedoms. Welcome back to the show.
All right, welcome back. Hold on a second there. That's iced coffee. And it is Defender, by the way, defendercoffee.com. I don't want you to forget the rest of our sponsors, please. The MyPillow campaign has got to continue. I think it was 4 more. I apologize. I was going to put the list together for it yesterday. I forgot to do it. But I think it was 4 more retailers that cut this man off. These are the same people that tweet their hatred to Rush Limbaugh. And by proxy to you. That's how you get them back. Little stuff like that. You buy stuff they don't like. You throw it in their face with an AAR promo code, mypillow.com. Use the AAR promo code. Believe me, it's working. Incredible stuff. Frontsite.com/Mark. 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 Dr. Piazza is going to be on the show coming up on Sunday. Can't wait. Also, this week coming up, guess who's making an appearance on the program tomorrow? For the first time in a long time, the gun writer Lee Williams is back, baby. Lee will be on the show with me tomorrow. We'll explain everything, Lucy. I've been getting a lot of questions about that over time. Lee, the gun writer Williams, will be back on the show with me tomorrow, and he will be back as the gun writer. So be prepared for that. And then David Codry to close out the week. The rest of our sponsors, please make sure to visit all of them. Visit armedamericanradio.org, but you're going to have to do it after Friday when the new site comes up. I'll let you know when that happens. In the meantime, go get you a quote from X Insurance, please. It is free to do. Protect your freedom like you do everything else in your life with real products that are not gimmicky stuff that you have to go through all these cool things to do. Just go get some insurance, just like you have for everything else in your life. xinsurance.com. Paul, like I said, I'm done. I got nothing. I'm going to let you take it over. I mean, I got lots to go over here. Frankly, not enough time. Today was kind of a solemn day. I'm going to be honest, I was depressed all day today. I kind of didn't have that, to want to get in front of the mic that happens every day. I was bummed. I don't know. Is that normal?
It's a normal, natural human reaction. I think that the best thing we can take from this is something that the other side will never understand, and they will never take the time to understand, is that, Rush Limbaugh was the quintessential American success story. He didn't, another one of the reasons they hated him is because he didn't follow their rules. He didn't go to college and get a liberal arts degree. He didn't go to college and get a journalism degree. And then they said, who is this guy? Who does he think he is? He doesn't have a journalism degree. He doesn't have a liberal arts degree. He can't do this. You're not allowed to be part of our crowd. We didn't invite you in there. And he didn't wait for their invitation. He made his own invitation. He pulled himself up after, being fired and having people say, no one's going to want to hear what you have to say. When he was working as a DJ, his bosses told him, look, keep it yourself. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say. But apparently several 100 million people actually wanted to hear what he had to say. And that is the American success story. The American success story is to follow your dreams. The American success story is that when you get knocked down, you pick yourself back up and you say, okay, that was a lesson. I'm going to learn from it and move forward. The American success story is not, I'm going to have someone clear the way for me. I'm going to have a government agency or program set things up for me.
Let's go. I'm glad you mentioned that about Rush, because I wish we had more time now, because you can talk about the motivational aspect of this. He came out, he was born in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and literally on his own worked his way up, as you just mentioned. And I go back to times in my own life. Unfortunately, they've been few and far between. But I can recall a number of years ago, when somebody tells me, anyway, it's just because it's just the way I am. But if you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to do it, okay? And I'm going to continue trying. And I remember a Shark Tank episode wasn't too long ago, and it's not something I watch all the time. I just happened to be watching this episode. There was a young girl, 16 years old, 17 at the oldest. I think she was 16. And she had come up with this product, an almond butter, and it was really, highly polished, well-designed jars, the whole 9 yards, displays, clearly money behind this that a 16-year-old doesn't have. You don't bring a product to this degree without having something behind you. And the woman, I forget one of the women on there, one of those sharks, said, how old are you? She said, I'm 16. And she said, where's this money coming from? And she said, my dad. And she says, exactly why I'm not going to support you. Exactly why I'm not going to buy into you. And I mean nothing negative, but you have to learn a very valuable lesson here. And that lesson is you have nothing to fear. You have no risk behind you. You have nothing to lose. If this doesn't work, I guess you're going to college and dad's probably going to pay for it. Well, yeah, but doesn't matter to me. Come talk to me when your car, your life, your bills, your home are on the line and you've got something to risk. And I bring that up because that's kind of what Limbaugh gave people, that mental strength, if you will, in their convictions and in their thoughts to be able to take them forward, Paul, when a lot of us had no outlets at that time to let those values out. Where did we do? Who did we talk to? Our echo chamber at home, our friends and family? And it wasn't until Rush Limbaugh brought this out that all of a sudden it felt like we could take this risk now. Does that make sense? And we could let it out. And we had that behind us now, and we could do these things, and we didn't have to rely on somebody. We could do this because Rush Limbaugh, we just knew that he was there. It's hard for me to explain. I hope I'm making sense. Maybe I'm not, but I think you get the message.
No, he gave us encouragement without realizing he was encouraging us individually through his example and his stories. And it wasn't just his stories; it was his example. He lived it. He put in the effort. He put in the time. He fought the critics, the people who said, you have to change. If you want to be a success, you have to change. You have to modify what you're saying. You have to do what we're telling you. And he had the conviction in his heart to believe that what he was doing was right, and he was going to do what he felt was right. And he loved this nation. He loved the United States of America, and
30
stands for.
Yeah,
and that's another reason that they hate him.
And that gave all of us strength. Rush Limbaugh gave all of us strength because we all of a sudden heard this amplified voice. This was back, you got to go back and live that day when Dan Rather was insisting that the news wasn't biased. And, we were coming out, there was now this 24-hour news cycle. We were at the very beginning of this hateful place that we are now with this 24/7 cycle, was just getting started. And Rush was the impetus that gave conservatives at the right place, the right time, that opportunity and the strength to come out and talk about these things. And he was all of our voice. Incredible stuff. He will be sorely, sorely missed by everybody. Paul, thanks for being here, dude, on a solemn day.
Thank you.
We'll do it. We'll do it next week when I'll have more prepared for you. Okay. I was kind of bummed today. I didn't know where to go. I said, I'm just going to let it all out with Paul. There we go. So we did it. Paul Markel, student of the gun, studentofthegun.com. I hope you enjoyed the show today. Like I said, rather solemn, but a tribute, if you will, to the best of the best. Till we meet on the radio tomorrow. Carry on, carry often, carry absolutely everywhere. Never leave your cave without your club. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you on the radio. I'm going to celebrate Rush's life today. I hope you do the same.
You've just filled your prescription for freedom with Mark Walters, presented by X Insurance. X Insurance on the Armed American Radio Network.
Wow. That show kind of is what it is.
It is.
Just is what it is.
I think we all knew this day was coming, but we just didn't know it was going to happen so soon, and we weren't really prepared for it when it did.
No, we knew. In fact, I was talking with another host last week that we were unfortunately more than likely going to see this day coming in the next few days. That was because when Snerdley came out last week and offered prayers for Rush, and Rush wasn't on the mic since the second, then it was come on,
obvious.
You knew this was going to happen. It was just going to be one of those deals where you were going to wake up and find out what we found out, just like we found out today. It's just sad that the day's here.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I listened to Rush for almost 20 years.
I would have liked to have listened to Mike today. Listeners,
Gallagher?
viewers, I'm talking about Mike Gallagher. I didn't, but he knew Rush very well. Sean, yeah. Those guys all got their platform tonight. But anyway, here's something on the cool front here. I did get confirmation today that the video portion, the voiceover I did, is being put together with the video portion. I should have a copy of it later tonight or tomorrow, but it was approved and it will be running on all of those television stations for a couple months around the country. So if you're watching Tucker, if you're watching Hannity or Ingram or on Fox, or if you're watching One American News Network at any time during prime time, or Discovery, or One America, or News, or what, there's a whole bunch of stations, History, and a whole bunch. You'll hear my voice doing the voiceover for the Second Amendment Foundation ads all over the country, all over those stations, beginning, I believe, could be as early as this weekend. So I'll keep you posted. Armed American Radio website is down. Should be going down any moment now if it's not. And, Greg, I guess I'll cut you loose and let you go tomorrow, huh? Till tomorrow?
Yeah, we're good, man. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, you're going home, right?
I don't know yet.
Shoot, go home.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it, but I don't know if I have power.
Bumper ski home.
Again, if I go home to a cold house with no water and no power,
stay there.
Now, what's the point? But I may go check on my houses because my mom's out of town currently, and so I need to go check on her house as well as mine.
You have liquor store and you have In-N-Out. Bumper ski to all of them. All right.
I can eat In-N-Out, get drunk, and then barf it up.
Thanks for the visual. God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow, brother.
All right,
later. Yeah, that was not nice, was it? All right, guys, what do we got in here? I see some questions in here popping up. One of them was answered. Yeah, I do have somebody that's looking at this. Who sent that? I'll answer that. Joey said, was there a split with AAR and USCCA? Joe, yeah, there was. I see that she answered you in here. Yeah, there was, but no, it's just business. I bought the show. That's all. I wanted control of what I created, and frankly, they weren't. They were moving in different directions, and I have too much I want to do with this, so I took what I created and I'm doing just that. Yeah. And no hard feelings at all, but X is a better product. It's an insurance product. It's an actual real insurance product. USCCA has what they have, and if that floats your boat, that's cool. You can do that. But when it comes to insurance, personally, I looked at this for a year and a half, before I decided, you know what? My homeowners, okay, my bank would never let me cover my home with the type of insurance that they offer because it's not insurance. It's their insurance, not yours. You're a third party under an umbrella that may or may not be there when you need it. My roof comes off in a tornado, which happened here at the house over at the ranch. And it didn't happen to the studio, but it happened over at the ranch. When that happens, I want to be able to call an insurance company directly and say, hey, I need you to send somebody out, and they do. And that's what happens with X Insurance, okay? It's their people. It's their insurance. They're insuring me. It's their attorneys that go to work for me, okay? And they don't want me sitting around in jail. And my policy is 3 times what I have. So please look into it. It's just business. That's all it is. It's a fantastic product. That's why they're taking the insurance or the firearms community by storm. But a good question. I'm glad you asked it. I've obviously gotten that question a lot over the last year and a half. So it's, no, we have the freedom to do some things we're doing now. Hence why you see the studio here. Okay. Why we're moving into a new studio next month. In fact, the HVAC is coming today. So drywall and all that will be up, and we could literally be in as early as next week, but we're going to wait another week. We've got some other things we want to do. So we're building a new studio. None of that would have happened had I not done what we did. And many more platforms to come. I don't know if you guys are familiar with, and they're probably upset at me right now because I have been so busy and haven't been able to get back to them. But let's see. When the notifications come. OpsLens. You guys familiar with OpsLens? Okay. We will be the biggest radio show they have on their platform. And that should be starting. So I've got to get with those guys over there. I have everything here. I just haven't had a chance to do it yet, but I intend on doing that before the week is out. So that will be another humongous platform that gets us off. Ooh, can you see how that works? We'll see. Eli, I think, let me check and see if that's going to be on Newsmax. Let me give you guys the platforms where that spot is going to be running, because it's going to be a fun one. Now, I have to admit, it's fun when you do stuff like that. Only because you're going to be on, we're going to be on all those television stations for quite some time. Let's see, news and releases. Here it is. TV campaign. Okay, looks like the spot that I voiced is going to, and I love this, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, Fox Business, One America, Destination America, Bloomberg, BBC America, Investigation, Discovery Channel, American Heroes Channel, Sci-Fi, The Learning Channel, True TV, The Weather Channel, Headline News, Dish TV, I think that might just be what stations they're talking about, CNBC, the Outdoor Channel, and Sportsman's Channel. It does not look like it's going on to Newsmax. But yeah, that's going to be running. You'll hear me on all those, running prime time. So have fun. Enjoy it, right? Hey, I know that guy. Here's what I didn't do. I didn't tell my mom and dad, because I know they're going to see it, because I know what they watched during that time. So that's going to be funny. Shh. Don't tell my mom if you see her on the comment section ever. And let's see, anything else in here we can answer for you guys? You have Comcrap. Mark, you have Comcrap. Hey, if you're watching Fox News, well, you know what? Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. It looks like it's going to be. Let me just go back here and check. It looks like DirecTV, Dish. It doesn't say if it's. I would imagine it's going to be on all of them. Don't know. Good question. I'll find out for you, Mark. Yeah, OpsLens. Check them out. Check out OpsLens. Check out their app. OPSLENS. Dude, that's interesting. It might be the service provider. Maybe the buy goes through Comcast. That's a good question. I'll find out. May very well be. Yeah, Robin, she did do a good job. I don't know how she kept it together, frankly. All right, guys, tomorrow, lots of fun because tomorrow, Lee, the Gunwriter Williams, comes back, okay? You'll enjoy that. He's been gone for a while. We'll explain everything. He called me this morning to let me know. All right, guys, I'm out. I will catch you on the radio tomorrow. Great lineup for the rest of the week. I believe we've got, I know we have Lee Williams tomorrow, and then I believe we have David Cody on Friday. So a good, solid week. I'll let you know when the website's coming back up, hopefully Friday afternoon. Take care, guys. We'll see you on the radio. Still got some work to do. Celebrate Rush's life today, by the way.